When he approached me in the field, he was beautiful, young, maybe my age. I was never one to hire help, but that harvest I made an exception. Sure, we needed it. Dad was dead 3 years and Joseph gone 5. This man was so alone, so far from everything he knew. And he put his trust in me. And I felt this fragile thing in my hands. And as we labored in the fields together, a thought I didn't recognize as my own whispered in my ear that I could do whatever I wanted to him.
Really don't think we can be out here.
Why?
Just can't. Shouldn't.
There's no sign, no fence coming in. It was ours anyway.
Not anymore. How do you know it's out there?
He said.
Yeah, I mean, how do you know it's out there?
The cluster with Great Grandpa's house. Has to be.
There's nothing there.
How do you know? We weren't allowed out there.
Because it was dangerous with the pit and all. Should you really be reading those things anyway? I mean, they were his.
I led him to the place where my life had begun. Perhaps the universe demanded this cycle. Has to be that clearing.
Okay, but right there, that's pretty prosy for a journal entry. Has his author voice all over it. You know he used those notebooks to write early drafts.
He didn't just use them for the novel. Use them for everything. Notes, thoughts, favorite records, places he wanted to visit. Shit, he had to-do lists. Little things like words he liked, and journal entries, real things. He had entries about his childhood, this place. He wrote about Mom's birth, when Grandma got sick. Put some very personal stuff in those books. Honest stuff, ugly stuff.
He probably didn't expect anyone to read this stuff.
He's gone, Cierra. So what?
How do you know this wasn't some piece of writing? Fiction. How do you know he wasn't moving cattle or out for a walk or something and got inspired and never did anything with it? He didn't publish every thought that came out of his head.
You didn't read what I read.
So why would he write all of this down?
Maybe it was like a confession. Maybe he couldn't keep it to himself anymore. Maybe no one would tell the difference between a story and a journal entry. His notebook showed just how complex he could be.
He ate eggs over medium literally every day until he died. He drove an '06 Honda Civic, gray.
That was a side of him. One side that we knew.
He encouraged everything you ever did. He was proud of you.
I know he was.
Toni, when I came out and Mom didn't, he got me. He understood me. When he came and got me after she tore me a new one and talked about conversion therapy, he wasn't mad I ran away. Didn't let Mom near me. He just let me cry and he said, I hope you can start living now. Why do you want to think he did this?
I don't want to. I need to know.
Why?
In a year, all of this is going to be ripped up. If it's not now, it's then. Someone's going to find something.
Why does it have to be you?
I need to know. I'm not going to be surprised, hurt. And if I'm wrong, nothing changes. At least I'll know.
No, the second you go in there, you're saying you think he did it. And even if you're wrong, there's no coming back from that. Not to me. What are you even looking for?
It was not out of guilt or need of confession, but of a need to show the value of human life that I laid a marker.
It's a rock. Wait, Toni! Don't. I mean, what are we doing? He was a good man, wasn't he?
When he approached me in the field, he was beautiful, young, maybe my age. I was never one to hire help, but that harvest, I made an exception. Sure, we needed it. Dad was dead 3 years, and Joseph gone 5. But there was something else. This man was so alone, so far from everything he knew, and he put his trust in me. And I felt this fragile thing in my hands. And as we labored in the fields together, a thought I didn't recognize as my own whispered in my ear that I could do whatever I wanted to him. What is it to kill but to be in control, to decide another's fate, to be God? Much like moments of utter lust, I could not help but surrender to the primal urge to do something exhilarating, to do something so horrible, driven by something within me that hadn't and never would again see any light of day. A part of the species that had been tamed to dormancy through centuries of civilization, but still so powerful when roused from hibernation. Balancing this beast against the consequences of these actions is no contest when you're so far from everything and with someone who in that moment was a nobody. I dared myself to change my life and another's. To do something in a moment designed to test me, I could never come back from or reconcile. I led him to the place where my life had begun. This irony did not escape me. Perhaps it was necessary that the universe demanded this cycle. It was only after the climax of ecstasy does one fully comprehend the consequence. This man had a mother somewhere. He was someone who lived in people's memories, who had wants, who had needs. He had lived. When I returned to my right mind, the part of me that was still human said I needed to treat him with dignity. It was not out of fear of discovery and retribution, but a basic need to provide a resting place of peace. It was not out of guilt or need of confession or plain stupidity, but of a need to show the value of human life that I laid a marker. The beast went away, never again resurrected, forever satisfied by this single act, leaving me, its host, stranded with my conscience, tormented forever by the knowledge of what I was truly capable of.